Hey there, it's Trisha, and I wanted to go over the trades for Monday, July 20th, and we used two setups on three charts with indicators requiring confirmation before we ever take a trade. And we have added a third setup, and we're calling it the range trade setup, that we take on days where we don't have any defined trend. So you can check those out at www.easyemintrade.com. So you can see clearly, this is the open, Monday's open, and the area above us is a resistance area based on looking at the daily chart, and you'll also see that it falls in line with an R2 floor pivot on our smaller tick chart as well. So here's our open. We come up, we trade up to that area of resistance, we come down, and then we trade back up to that area of resistance. So we've established a resistance area and we've retested it. We failed to break through it here. So what you can do when you have a range like that is once you get to resistance, which would be here, and your indicators start to roll over, you could go short in this instance with the expectation that you would realistically just get back down to this support area. So that's what we did. We took this trade at, I think it's like 10:06, got in at 9:44. We actually have divergence as well. We have equal highs here in price while we have lower high on our indicator. So that leads us to believe that we will move lower. So all we're expecting really is to get back down to this 941.50 area. So we go short. We use a 2-point stop, and the intention is not to let the stop get hit. The intention is that it's just there for a safety net in case we need it, but the intention is to just flatten and cancel when the trade starts to move against us. So initially when you're in and you see momentum slowing to the downside, or your indicator crosses back over against you, any of those would be reason to flatten and cancel. So anyway, I've got my order in, get filled, and then I also have my my stop and three targets that get placed at the exact same time. So my first target is +1. When I get my +1, I remove my I move my stop on my remaining 2/3 to my entry point. So now this way, no matter what happens, I'm profitable. So got my +1, +2. At the point that I got my +2, then you can move it to +1 at that point on your remaining 1/3. It really depends on how many contracts you're trading. So anyway, you just really want to follow it down as price is moving down. You don't want to give it back. So as price is moving down, I actually moved my stop once we got here to 941.50, and of course was stopped out here on that. So if you happen to have an order already in place for a profit of +3 or +4, you would have gotten that. I highly doubt that anybody did that. They got the full +4, but if they did, great. But like I said, I trail stopped and was stopped out up here. So then at that point, we've broken support. So now we have to start over and reestablish a support and resistance area. And that's when if you're not trending, if you're just in a range. If you're trending, then obviously you're not going to be doing that. We did have a squeeze firing off here, but we were not willing to take it because it's right in the middle of the high and the close, and also a mid floor point from Friday. So the way that I trade is I let it get through that area and then I'd look for a setup. I'm not interested in sitting through this mess. And actually we never did get below that area. We did have a trend line break here, which was also the trade that we were already in. So wasn't really interested in that for a couple reasons. We were stopped out at that point, but wasn't interested in this for the same reasons that I wasn't interested in this squeeze. For me, you're too close to the high and the close from Friday. So if somebody took that, I think they would have gotten a point out of it. That would have been it. And then we have the same issue here with this trend line break during lunch. There was a squeeze firing off that you could have taken, and I think you would have maybe got half a point. But the same issue. There's not really a lot of room above your head in order for this to move. So anytime I take a trade, I want to know what's above me and what's below me, and realistically where is price likely to stall or bounce or pull back. And if I'm too close to that in order to make it worth my while, then I'm not going to take the trade. And so that's just my management style. It does not have to be yours. So anyway, I hope that range trade helps in days where we're not trending, and you can check out those setups at www.easyminitrade.com.